Hello everybody and good morning. Welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So we're going over a book, Thinking for a Change. And before we go into the next chapter, we're going to go ahead and invite some people onto here. Alright, we are almost there. Do you got your notes?
I do.
Alrighty.
Got about 30 more people to go.
Yeah, right.
300.
Alright.
Johnny Daddy.
There we go. Alright.
You got Stacy. Cool. Hello. There's Shamala, always consistent. How are things on the other side of the world? How are you guys doing with everything? Michelle is here. Hello. Okay, so we're going to get going. It's part 2, 11 skills every successful person needs. These are 11 skills every successful people need to actually think. So skill number 1, acquire the wisdom of big picture thinking. There's a great book called The Magic of Thinking Big that I would highly recommend. Jennifer's here. Hello. It says, where success is concerned, people are not measured in inches or pounds or college degrees or family backgrounds. They are measured by the size of their thinking. And that's actually David Schwartz, and that came from the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. And really good book to kind of follow along with. I found that Maxwell uses a lot of other people's personal development, and that's one of the ones I found. It says crazy. Okay, I'm not even going to read that. He had a crazy quote in there from people who have kind of, had thoughts but lost their mind and said stupid things. So he had kind of a list of those. I wrote one of them down. It was funny, but it doesn't pertain to the show. Mindset, big picture thinker. It says learn continually. So visit new placed. It says visit new placed. It's supposed to be visit new places. Read new books, meet new people, learn new skills. You have to think big anyway, or you have to think anyway, so why not think big? There's no purpose in thinking small. It says listen intentionally, so you don't only want to learn continually, but you want to listen intentionally. It says listen to someone who has expertise in the area where you don't. That's where inside of direct sales, network marketing, inside of building your own business, it really pays a lot to have two things. There's a difference between a coach and a mentor. A mentor actually has done it, right? They've done it. They have the success that you're trying to get. They have it. Not had it, they have it currently. And what you're able to do is you're able to plug into them and ask them questions, and they're going to give you some insight on exactly what to do, exactly how to do specific things. A good coach isn't giving you instructions. A good coach is just asking questions. They're asking questions pertaining to what you're trying to accomplish and saying, hey, are you doing the right things? And the key is asking the right questions to get you to come up with your own solution and get you to figure it out and perform at a higher level. A coach can require accountability, but not actually give physical instruction. Once you cross the line of physical instruction, you're not really coaching, you're mentoring. And if you're taking mentorship from somebody who has not done it, that's not necessarily a good thing based on what he's saying. So something food for thought, keep in mind when you're out there in business. It's like consultants, you usually want to go to somebody who's done it. It says, when you're meeting with people, it is good to have an agenda so that you can learn. So don't just meet with successful people and expect to spend a bunch of time. You want to meet with successful people and actually have an agenda. I want to get the following information. We were told to counsel with someone who's more successful inside of our company. That's how we were taught to do it. So once a month, we were supposed to get together with a successful person in our company and basically go over what we had been doing over the last 30 days. The problem is typically when I did this in the beginning, I got around some really good people, but they were like, you're not doing squat. So there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Like, well, I have these 3 people. Okay, you need 30. Okay, I have these 3 people. You need 30. But I have these 3. Yeah, but those aren't the 3, is what they were nicely trying to say. Those aren't the 3. You need 30. Go recruit 30, and then we'll have a conversation. So that's what it kind of pertained to. Human beings habitually see their world first, meaning you're going to look at everything from your perspective, where you're at. And the beauty of having a mentor is they're able to see it from a different angle, because they've been further, they've been higher, they've dealt with more problems, so they kind of know already. And that's kind of the beauty of, talking to them. So you want to look expansively, you want to live competitively, completely, I'm sorry. The truth is that you can spend your life in any way you want to, but you can only spend it once. That's actually a quote by John Maxwell, and I really like that because I hear many times in his books, he says, look, you can go do anything you put your mind to, but you can't do everything. Meaning there's only so much time to master something. So for those of you, I'm guilty as well. I know there's a couple of people on here who are guilty of this. For those of you who are off on the next technique, on the next program, on the next download, on the next system, on the next automation, and you're off to the next one, there's only so much time. You're going to run out of time before you master all the crazy we've all bought, right? All the crazy stuff we bought, all the crazy stuff we're trying to get done. You're going to run out of time. Instead, find one way to do it and master that. That's what people want to follow. People want to follow somebody who's mastered it, not somebody who bought another program, not somebody who joined another club of marketing. And I'm guilty of all this, so that's why I can kind of make fun of it and be strong. And oh wow, I can edit here. That's awesome. And go back and places.
Although the good thing is with you have actually gone through a majority of it. Now when somebody comes on our team and tries to bring something like that to us, we're like, well, actually we've already tried that and we found it works this way and it really doesn't work the greatest compared to this method that works the best. So sometimes it's a blessing because when people do bring it up to us that we already know how it's going to work and we can already save them some time. But that also ate up a lot of our time too. So you just got to be careful of what's actually going to be taking up your time.
Yep. So it says getting better every day. Yes. Pilgrims had once been able to see across the ocean. So this was kind of a cool story. They were talking about Jamestown, like in the first 5 years. And Jamestown basically had a council meeting and said, look, we think we need to build a road 5 miles into the wilderness just for expansion purposes, to meet new people, see new things, change the world. And the Pilgrims got together and be like, no, we're good. And this was a quote by one of the guys. He's like, Pilgrims once had been able to see across the ocean. Now they can't look 5 miles down the road. I was like, oh, wow, that's painful. And there were no roads, there was just roads inside of Jamestown. So leaders must be able to do many important things for their people. See the vision before their people do. Size up situations, taking into account many variables. Stretch a picture of where the team is going. So this is really important. What are we trying to build? What are we trying to accomplish? One of the guys I worked with or worked under, I say worked with and under because I was on his team, and I didn't directly work with him. I mean, we were on conference calls, but I don't think I ever had like a long conversation ever, other than, hey, it was great to hear you, meet you, whatever. It was really cool to listen to him, but he had this he gave everybody an objective. Rather than saying, hey, what are you trying to do? He's like, this is the objective we're all trying to get to. He goes, once you get there, you can design any type of life you want, because you're going to have the money. You're going to have the time. You're going to have the background. You're going to have the experience. You can design any type of life. What kind of life do you want at this level? But he gave the level to get to. He's like, at this level, this is where everything magical happens. And it was really cool. He's like, no two teams are built the same way. And no two teams are built with the same people. So it's always going to be unique to you. So stretch a picture where you're going. Show how the future connects with the past to make the journey more meaningful. Size up the moment when the timing is right. Big picture thinking keeps you on target. So this is number 2. Big picture thinking keeps you on target. To get things done, you'll need to focus. Again, that's Maxwell. And, you know, you hear kind of this revolving conversation that he has is, you can't do everything. You're going to have to focus. You're going to have to pick one thing and get good at it. John talked about this, you know, early in his career, he used to counsel. And he's like, I was a horrible counselor. He goes, because I like to fix things and keep them fixed. He goes, people like to destroy their lives and then come back for more. And he's like, look, we already fixed this. So what's wrong with you? He's like, I'm a bad counselor. He goes, I know I'm a bad counselor. He goes, I love people. I like to do it. I just realized this was not something that I was really good at. He goes, I'm horrible. He goes, I'm such a bad counselor. I wouldn't take counseling from me. So that kind of tells you he figured it out. And it's like strength finding. You find out what your strengths are. So what he did is he realized he loved talking to people. He loved researching. He loved training. He loved teaching. And he finally figured it out. He's like, look, I'm supposed to go teach this stuff. I'm supposed to go teach these principles. He goes, this is what I connect with. This is what I love to do. And what I realize is a lot of other people like it too. So if I can bring this to them in a business sense, I could probably, you know, hold seminars and teach and sell books, and that's how I'm going to make my money. And he's made a lot. You've got to think about big things while you're doing small things so that the small things can go in the right direction. So a lot of times people are out there working, but because they don't have this overall goal, this overall objective, and I see this a lot inside of direct sales. People spin their wheels. They're like, well, I'm trying to get them. I just can't get them in. Why are you trying to get them in? Well, because I need another person. Well, because, you know, and they don't really know what they're building. Rather than saying to the person, hey, the reason why I'm going to have you, you know, join the team, get in, buy into the program, is we're building this organization. Hi, Phil. How are you and Kat? How are things? I saw you guys on the paddleboard. We actually tried that down in Destin, Florida. I tried to stand up twice, and I was just like, this is stupid. So
we all had fun falling in at first. Jeff didn't.
I realized right away, standing is not for me. But I just, you know, I kneeled, so it was like a paddleboard on the knees, and it worked out great, kind of like canoeing. Yep. So, but great time nonetheless. But back to this big picture thinking, you can only do so much. You know, people want to bring people onto their team, into their business, but it's for selfish reasons rather than saying, hey, look, here's the objective. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to help you build this organization. We're going to help you profit from everything else we're doing. Here's the niche that we're involved in. You're just trying to get them, and people feel that. So you're not really bringing them into something that they're going to succeed. You're trying to bring them in just for your own success. And they can hear that. So you kind of have that commission. It's like a commission mentality rather than a service mentality, rather than a big picture mentality. Big picture thinking also, so this is 3, big picture thinking also allows you to see what others see. One of the most important skills you can develop in human relations is the ability to see things from other people's point of view. You want to be able to see things from other people's point of view, not just your own. And I think this is where personalities come into play. When you have 4 different personalities and somebody says something, you have to take it with their personality to be able to decipher what they're trying to get. And George, great. How's it going? So You want to take their personality into account, because based on their personality is based on what they're looking for, based on what they're trying to find, based on what they're trying to achieve. Like where D-type personalities are looking for the challenge, S-type personalities are looking for security. Those are two different things. Now, there's a challenge to get to security, but trying to explain that, and as you get questions, you have to keep that in mind. Especially when you're coaching people or mentoring people, you have to keep in mind what their personality is, because if you're sitting there talking all about how you feel about everything, and you're talking to a D-type personality, you lost him, and you lost him in the first 5 seconds, and the rest of the conversation, they're like, I need to spend less time with this person. And if you don't get that, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how you're approaching it. You don't get it. The same is true if you're a D-type personality and you're only talking about money and the objective, and you're not asking them, well, do you have a good feeling about this? Are you okay with what's going on? Are you comfortable? The same thing is true. The S-type personality, you'll lose them right away. C-type personality looks for quality answers, looks for connection, looks for cognitive. It has to make sense. It has to add up. So you've got to build out, hey, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it. And they want the details. Well, how exactly do I say it? They're going to have all the questions, thousands of questions. How? Why? Why that order? Why should we do that? And once they finally get it, it's almost like once they get on track, you can't steer them off track. They're on it. But getting people to that point can be a trick. Begin with the big picture each day, big picture mindset. It says look for so this is how John does it. He says, you want to, big pictures keep you from getting caught up in the mundane. So big picture thinking each day. You look at your written agenda for the day, you pick out the main event, and then that's the main thing that you need to focus on for the day. That's where you need the most energy. So John said, he basically made it to his late 60s, and he's like, look, I'm running out of juice, basically. I'm running out of, steam. And I had to start looking at the day, because this basically happened to him where he was working one day and he got to the main event, but because he had expelled so much energy, the main thing he was doing didn't necessarily go as well as he wanted to. And he's like, look, I need to pick out the main thing each day, and I need to place that in a specific place in a specific time, so that way I give it my best. You normally won't see John Maxwell come on stage at midnight. Why? Because he gets up at 4 a.m. every day. He has a really tight schedule. So therefore, he normally will come on in the morning. He normally will come on in the afternoon. But by about 5 o'clock, you don't see John Maxwell on a lot of things. That's just the way it works. At least I haven't seen him on a lot of things. 6, big picture thinking helps you chart uncharted territory. How to acquire the wisdom of big picture thinking. Number 1, don't strive. I don't necessarily like this one. It says don't strive for certainty. You want diverse ideas. I think what he's saying is you don't want just one mindset about something, because the way it's written, it's weird. Because you want certainty. You want to be certain to know exactly what you're doing. Certainty creates clarity, and clarity will actually create that consistency. The moment you're not clear, you won't be consistent, which is why so many people look for the next program. Clarity creates consistency, and then, that consistency, along with being congruent, along with being clear, along with being concise, you'll get things down. We talk about presenting and having a clear picture of what you're doing. So him saying, don't strive for it, big picture thinking, I think what he's talking about, instead of certainty, you're really talking about clarity. Learn from every experience. No matter how much I know or think I know, I can always learn from this situation. So John Maxwell's like, I can always sit and have the conversation and learn something. Varied experiences, both positive and negative. So he's like, here's the thing. You want to have conversations with both sides. You want to have conversations with both sides of an argument. You want to have conversations with both sides politically. Why? Because we're going to live around all these people. I talk to people from outside the country to be like, really, how do you guys do that? That's really different. I never even thought that would be the way that it would work. Family dynamics are different. Politics are different. How people see the world is different. It's okay to have conversations with both sides. It gives you a new perspective on what's going on. Here's the thing. The moment you eliminate the other side, you are the jerk that you don't want to be. Always take that into effect. And sometimes, watch this, I found it's very personality driven. It's wild. Meaning, like, where people choose sides on everything is very personality driven. Once you know that, you can have great conversations. And if you want to sway somebody, there you go. Gain insight from the variety of people. Receive insight from others. Books, audios, videos, seminars. Only take advice from experts. So here he goes again, looking for the people who are the best in their field. He's like, it's great to read a book by a no-name author if it's, something fun that's a story. He goes, but when you're going for information on building your business, ask yourself, has this author actually accomplished it? Have they accomplished it? If not, he's like, yeah, you can read it, but it's probably not the best thing to read, because what if the one idea you get out of it doesn't work? They don't know. They've never done it. If you want big picture thinking, you'll have to go against the flow of the world. Most people are not big picture. Most people just fall in line and follow directions. That's why people always say at the very beginning, what do I do? What do I say? Who do I call? Where should I... they're constantly asking for what? Directions. New people in the beginning need very clear directions. Eventually, you can get into coaching. Eventually, then the second step is you get into mentoring, because they still need exact instructions. You're just mentoring, kind of steering the course. Then coaching, asking questions. Hey, we've already taught this. Did you do what you're supposed to do? And last, you need to turn around and teach them how to teach it to somebody else. So that's business perspective 101. So that's what I have for this particular chapter. Hope you got something good out of it. Tomorrow we'll be going over chapter 5. Actually,
Bess will be going over chapter 5 because it is Wednesday. So if you guys would like to watch the show tomorrow, you want to go find you can find it on Bess McCarty's page, or go to the group, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show Facebook group, and we will post it there as well. It just won't be at 11:30. So with that is what we have for you today, and you will see Bess tomorrow, and we'll see you on Thursday.